everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Bible Verse Breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at John chapter 6 verse 27, where Jesus Christ told us, "Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed." So this whole idea of there's some meat that perishes, but there's some kind of meat that doesn't. What does this all exactly mean? Well, let's look at it at an individual level. Essentially, when it comes to building our faith in God, there are two kinds of things we can build it on. We can build it on physical things, and we can build it on spiritual things. Jesus Christ described this as building on sand versus building on rock in Luke chapter 6 and verses 48 and 49. And in that place where Jesus Christ was describing this, he essentially gave us an analogy that we can now use to understand how we build our faith. He said that there were two people who were building houses. There was one person who built on rock, something stable, the doctrines of God, the truth, developing the heart instead of just physical things. But then there was another person who was building on sand. If we're building our faith based on churches, physical customs and traditions, our belief in God is based on the fact that, every once in a while we go to church, we sing praises to God and all that, then by the time temptations come, essentially our faith is tested and we don't exactly follow through with it to the end. Love for this world will come in, all kinds of things will try to take us away, and in the end we will yield to it. Jesus Christ described this in the parable of the sower in Matthew chapter 13 from verses 3 to 9 and verses 18 to 23. And you're laboring for something which doesn't endure. Same goes with Christianity as a whole. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the history of Christianity? St. Peter's Basilica, all the nice monasteries and all those buildings, right, that established Christianity. Missionaries were going all around the world, building all kinds of stuff, and it was fantastic at the time. But we can see that in our time, there's secularity, there's science, and spiritual things are simply losing relevance. Why are they losing relevance? Why is it fading out? Because they were not built on spiritual things. They were just built on physical buildings, which people don't really care about as much anymore because man has been able to manufacture more magnificent things, and we've simply moved on in fulfillment of Amos chapter 8 verse 11. So Jesus Christ said that instead of laboring for such physical things which fade out or perish, we should labor for those spiritual things which endure unto everlasting life. Imagine if Christianity was about knowledge and understanding. Like that was the hub. When people walk into Christianity, what they're going to gain out of it isn't about building the best churches or following customs and traditions, but rather about understanding the core doctrines of God. How God has an everlasting plan for mankind. Jesus died for sins and all that. So imagine if that was what people were interested in. Then by the time Jesus Christ returned, as we've talked about in this channel, then it would be very easy for people to understand because they would be able to match the events like, leadership crumbling and other things like that in fulfillment of Matthew chapter 24 and 2 Timothy chapter 3 from verses 1 to 5. They'd be able to put all that together and be able to understand what's happening. But many people are not exactly looking for such things because their faith is not based on something spiritual. So we should spend our time studying the scriptures, and coming to understand what God is exactly doing so that we can build our inner selves instead of it always being about our outside, how we dress or anything in that direction. It's about our inner selves, how our hearts work, so that we'll have courage, we'll have love, humility, and so on. God is a spirit, remember, so he wants us to develop that inner self so that our service can be fruitful. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That's John chapter 4, verse 24. And that is where I'm going to stop on discussing that verse, John chapter 6, verse 27, which once again reads, "Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed." If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we make future verse breakdowns just like this. Have a great day, and God bless you.